Hello, everybody, and welcome to this leadership series. My name is Tosin Katto, and in this series, we're looking at developing your leadership competence. Before we go into the heart of the training, we need to define what is leadership. It's important we define it so that we have a common ground and a common understanding of what leadership is. Leadership is the art of directing, guiding, and influencing the behavior of others to achieve specified goals in a given situation. What a leader does is to direct others, is to guide them, and also to influence them. So it's important that we understand that influence is what makes a leader. The simplest definition of leadership is getting other people to follow you. When you use coercion to persuade others to follow you, that is what we refer to as bad leadership. There is no one size fits all when it comes to leadership. It's an art, it's something you learn. Leadership is a way of thinking and an instinct that is built over time. It's something you build over time. It's something that should flow from within you. You can't lead by books, no matter how much books you read on leadership. When it comes to the practical aspect, it's something that should flow from within you. It's not something that you find in book. A good and effective leader is anyone who can influence others to willingly follow them. So it's all about getting them to follow you willingly. If it's done by force or by threat, then it's not a good leadership. It's something that should flow from within you. It's something that you have to learn how to influence people. Leadership is more than just holding a position of authority. It is something that has to do with influence. It is more of an influence than a position. In a society and an organization, leadership can exist at various levels. The influence you have on people is what defines your level of leadership over them. I'll say that again. The influence you have on people is what defines your level of leadership over them. So let's look at what are leaders meant to do. What are the specific things that leaders are meant to do? So let's look at the first one, problem solving. Leaders take the initiative to solve issues. They plan for the future and refuse to accept the status quo. It's important you know that as a leader, you are meant to solve problems. You're meant to take the initiative. That's what makes you a leader. You're meant to take the initiative to solve problems. You're meant to take the initiative to plan for the future. And you're meant to take the initiative to change things, to refuse to accept the status quo. These are the responsibilities of a leader. These are what you're meant to do as a leader. So when you see a problem and everybody is complaining about it, if you have that leadership ability in you, you're meant to find a way to solve it. It's okay to see a problem, but as a leader, you are meant to find solution. You're meant to find a way out. Everybody is not wired to solve problems. Some create problems, but some have that ability to come up with solutions. Problem solving is a major responsibility for leaders. It is what they are meant to do. If you are appointed to a leadership position, be sure of it that there is a problem you need to tackle, there is a problem you need to solve. And as a leader, if you cannot plan for the future, then everything you're doing will crash. Leaders solve problems by having a vision of something better and bigger. When there is a crisis in an organization or society, it indicates that the leader is needed to fix it. So it's important that you understand these things. It's not a reward when you're being appointed. It's a responsibility. It's something you're meant to carry out. It's a responsibility that is placed on you. The second thing that leaders are meant to do is to structure and coordinate, or we can say structure and coordination. Leaders organize and coordinate the activities of others toward a common goal and good. As a leader, you have to coordinate, you have to organize things. The moment you have two or more people, then there is need for coordination, there is need for structure, because everybody will act in any way they feel is best to them. And if there is no structure, if there is no coordination, it becomes difficult to achieve a common goal. Yes, everybody will want to achieve that goal, but they will want to do it in their own way, and that leads to confusion, that leads to conflict. So a leader comes up and says, see, let's do it this way. And he organizes everybody. There's an action plan, there's a structure involved, and everybody is well coordinated. If you have strength in this area, then the leader puts you in that area. If you have weakness in this area, then the leader looks for how to complement your weakness with another strength from the team. A leader's capacity for inspiring others and fostering teamwork is what enables them to carry out their assigned task. Leaders cannot achieve their goals without the assistance of others. You cannot. You cannot achieve your goal without the assistance of others. A good relationship skill is essential for effective leadership. We're still talking about structure and coordination, and so far I've mentioned that for you to achieve that goal, you need the assistance of others. And your capacity to inspire them is what will make them carry out that task. So if you cannot inspire them, it becomes difficult for them to achieve that goal. And I also said that a good relationship skill is essential for effective leadership. Now that we're talking about coordinating the actions of others, now that we're talking about structure, that will only happen if you have a good relationship skill. If you don't have a good relationship skill, it's difficult to coordinate others. It's difficult to get them to do things together. Now we move on to the next one. What are the common challenges that leaders face? There are challenges that leaders face which I needed to know, which I will explain some of them to you. There are many, but I will explain some of them to you. There are common challenges that leaders face which you also need to be equipped with so that you can prepare and plan to overcome those challenges. You will be faced with those challenges. So what are those challenges? The first one is motivating the team. Your team is looking up to you as a leader to inspire and motivate them to finish their task. As a leader, you have that as a challenge to motivate everybody, because motivation determines how they respond to that task. This may be difficult if your workplace is demanding, but as a leader, you are saddled with the responsibility to inspire them. Motivating the team is one major challenge that leaders face. They find it difficult to motivate everybody in the team, but you must look for common grounds, because without establishing a common ground, it's difficult for you to connect with people and to motivate them. The second challenge that leaders face in getting people to achieve a common goal for common good is the need for development. The development of potential an employee is a core part of your role as a leader, and it becomes a challenge where you're trying to develop the team. The vision is big, the vision is a picture of the future, but the team may not have what it takes to get there. They may have it, it may be in a raw form that needs to be developed. So there is need for you to develop the team. It's important to recognize the potential in your team members and foster their development. Understanding their aspirations for the future can help you identify methods to push and stretch them. As a leader, you are to recognize the potentials in your team. You are to see potentials in people, and you are to encourage them and develop them. The third challenge that leaders have, that they face when they are trying to lead a team, is the need for change. As a leader, you can reduce resistance to change by helping them to see its advantages. Today's leaders have a serious challenge in leading change in their team. Everyone wants to stay the same. And one of the challenges you have is to get them to embrace change. Many people will make an effort to resist change, but if you are a leader who has strong communication and interpersonal skills, bringing about change won't be too difficult. It may be difficult, but it will not be too difficult or impossible for you to do. Change is important. Change is inevitable. Change is something we experience in life. It's something that is waiting for us in the future. And as a leader that is planning for the future, sometimes you see this change far away and you want to initiate it. You don't want to experience unexpected change that will affect the organization. So it's important that as leaders, you have a challenge, and that challenge is changing the people, changing the systems, changing what has been working, changing it to improve on it so that it can be sustainable. So the challenge is change. The vision you're trying to bring to pass needs change. People need to change some things and put in place some things. And if those people are resistant to change, it becomes difficult for you to achieve that vision. So it's important you change the people, change their orientation, change their perspective, and also change the method, change many things that needs to be changed. But change is very difficult because everybody is comfortable with the present, with the norm, with the status quo. So it's difficult for leaders to achieve visions because they are faced with the challenge of changing people, changing methods and strategies. This is one thing you need to also prepare for. You will be faced with this challenge to change things. And as a leader, you don't force it. You don't force it. You have to influence. You have to communicate. You have to relate with people. When they understand the advantages of the change, then it becomes easy for them to embrace the change. Another challenge that leaders face is the need to manage people. Conflicts at work can be very harmful if they are not handled properly. Conflict arises from differences in understanding, experiences, value system, methods, lifestyle, and communication. That's the root cause of conflict. Or when you have 2 or 3 people or more in your team, they have different experiences, they have different backgrounds, they have different ways of understanding things, they have different value systems, they have different methods of doing things, they have different lifestyles. They have different ways of communicating and different ways of them understanding communication. So you have to understand how to manage people. It becomes a challenge to you as a leader because these people, you are exposed to different people and you have to learn how to relate with each of them. That's a challenge that you'll face as a leader. As a leader, there will be occasions when you need to resolve disputes on the team or between you and a worker. Even though conflict may be unpleasant, you must find a solution before it affects the whole team. So one of the things you need to do when you're managing people and you're trying to manage conflict is to encourage listening and negotiation. If there is a dispute between two teammates, encourage them to resolve the issue through negotiation. If one of your employees disagrees with you, be sure to consider their viewpoint. If their suggestion is better, don't be reluctant to adjust your strategy. So in this session, I've been able to define what leadership is, what their role is, and the challenges they face. If you're new to leadership, these are things you should prepare for. These are things you will meet in your leadership journey. And if you are already a leader, you agree with the point shared in this video that yes, of a truth, these are the things I'm experiencing. These are the things that I am facing, that I'm trying to overcome. And you need to stick around to watch the other episodes so that you can gain something tangible out of these trainings that will help you in your leadership journey and the challenges you face in leadership. Once again, my name is Tosin Katto. I'm a business and life coach, and the core areas of my trainings are leadership, public speaking, and personal development. To learn more, you can visit my site and also get in touch with me. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.